I suppose you could always say it's the best time to get into sim racing. Well, except for the pandemic. But right now is truly the best time to get into sim racing. Direct drive wheelbases are becoming the standard, and unless you get a good deal from a friend, there's no reason to buy a new belt or gear-driven wheelbase. Today, I'm going to go over the best price to performance ratio budget/entry-level gear to get you started. These are the best options you have at your PayPal fingertips. I won't be including items such as shifters and handbrakes, as they're not essential to sim racing unless you're trying to replicate a certain type of car. Paddle shifters are the fastest and most cost-effective way to shift and get started in sim racing, period. The criteria will be wheelbases no more than $400, pedals for no more than $300, and wheels for no more than $200. And when I say wheels, I mean like the button box, paddle shifters, the wheel rim, all of it in one kit and caboodle. I'll also be talking about bundles. They're a good way for people that are intimidated by the amount of options to just get a solution in one kit for all their needs. Also, shipping will not be included in these deals I'm going to talk about, because depending on where you specifically are in the world and where you purchase from, it's going to be vastly different. So we're going to start this off with Fanatec. Now, a lot of you that are familiar with me are probably surprised to hear that I'm suggesting anything Fanatec, because I've had poor experiences with their products and with their customer service in the past, but that does not take away from the fact that the CSL DD is a great option if you're just starting out. They have a cheap bundle, and they also have much more expensive bundles with the CSL DD included, right? But if you want a general purpose, just starting out bundle, their 5 Newton meter CSL DD RTR bundle for $399.85. The table clamp system is actually an extra charge. You do have to pay for a table clamp if you're not willing to invest more money in buying a rig. So the wheelbase from Fanatec, if you just buy the wheelbase, is $349.95. That's for the 5 Newton meter version. The 8 Newton meter version, you're looking at $500 something dollars. I don't know exactly the cost, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about $400 and under. So I can highly recommend the wheelbase. The wheelbase feels great. It's going to handle most of what you throw at it, right? It's not going to be the absolute best option. It is on the lower spectrum of what I would consider good. 5 Newton meters is like the absolute minimum. And if you play like open wheel games, stuff like that, you're going to probably want more. But you can upgrade later with a laptop power supply that Fanatec sells. I just don't think it's worth it for that $500 price point. By today's standards, you should be getting a lot more for your money for $500 something dollars. But yeah, it is still a great wheelbase, and it would be an amazing first wheelbase for anybody. I'm talking anybody, and you might be satisfied with that 5 Newton meter version for the rest of your life. So it's a good option if you're not quite sure what you need from sim racing, how much power you actually want this thing to output. It's a great place to start. Now, the quick release, it's not good. I hate the quick release. I think it should be called a slow release. It is not quick by any means. Wheel choices, there's quite a bit of choices here to start off with. Now, when I say quite a bit, they're all kind of similar in their operation. They're all kind of similar in their construction. They just have kind of like different graphics. But they do have 2 main designs that I'm going to mention here, and that's their McLaren wheel. It's a very popular wheel, $199.95. It's a GT / sort of F1 style wheel. And you can also go as low as $119.95. And keep in mind, these are all polymer wheels. So, don't go super ham on them. They're not built for abuse. But the added benefit is that they are lightweight. So they're going to make your force feedback, if you choose the 5 Newton meter version, feel even better and more responsive. So for drifting and stuff like that, if there's less rotational mass, your wheel will spin quicker. It'll feel like there's more torque when there's less weight. So those are great things. And as long as you're not like Hercules or the Hulk smash, as long as you don't do that and you're like Spider-Man or someone that's gentle, if you build a web around it for padding, it'll be fine. The ones I have seen, you can upgrade the quick release to an aluminum version, but I think it's like another $100 something dollars. So that kind of strays away from what we're trying to do here. One of the coolest features about Fanatec wheels is that you can tune your force feedback without software. The software is built in on the wheel itself with the display that's included. So that's really cool. I do want to mention that in the past, there were many reports of people breaking their plastic quick releases or them cracking if you do crack them and it breaks all the way, you will damage the pins inside. And if those pins are bent or straight up broken, the wheel will not work. Now, pedals on the low end of the spectrum, you're looking at $79.95, and you're like, damn, that is cheap. And it is. They're not anything to write home about, and I haven't written home about anything in my entire life. You especially will not write home about these pedals, but that's going to get you by. It's going to make it to where you can play all the games that you want to play. You're going to set better lap times than you can with any controller. The CSL pedals only work via USB with an adapter, so be mindful. They're banking on the fact that you're going to want more from them, and that's why they're able to sell them for so cheap, because they know you're going to come back, you're going to want the load cell, better pedal faces, you're going to want this, you're going to want that, whatever. For instance, the load cell brake pedal can be purchased for $139. A single pedal is more expensive than the two pedals and the base and the Hall effect sensors. You get my point. After you buy the load cell and you upgrade these pedals, you paid more than what you should have, basically. So if you just get the load cell to begin with, that costs $199.95. You're going to have the pedal feel that you want. You know, maybe not in the clutch pedal. The clutch pedal is going to be still pretty weak and still kind of, that doesn't feel like a clutch pedal, but most people don't even use the clutch pedal anyway, so what does it matter, right? Now, if you want all the bells and whistles, you're still looking at under the $300 mark at $234.90 for the CSL Pedals Pro version, and it comes with everything. All them bells, all them whistles, such as the aluminum faceplates for a more premium look and feel. Unfortunately, on the website, it doesn't state how much pressure the load cell is able to handle, but I assume it's, something decent. I don't know why they wouldn't, unless it's less than the competitors maybe, and they're just like, oh, it's a load cell. That's all that people need to hear for them to want to buy it. I don't know, but it's probably fine for most people. Otherwise, I'd hear more people complaining about it online. And on the very tippy top of the pedal spectrum, the budget spectrum, the CSL Elite V2 pedals, it's a very nice design, right? By the way, it does come with a load cell on the brake and two Hall effect sensors, one for the clutch and one for the throttle. Unless you want some crazy high performance pedals, like with hydraulic this and hydraulic that, you're gonna be fine with these. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the next company that I can recommend. And we're looking at Motza, the R5 bundle, available with the pedals, a table clamp, wheel and wheelbase for $499. Now, it is $100 more than what the CSL is asking for, but it does come with a table clamp. The wheel it comes with is much better. And some would argue that the products just look better than Fanatec's offerings. Fanatec kind of looks a little bit childish nowadays. Not like, a child designed it, but it kind of looks like it's intended for a child. But anyway, Motza has a little bit more of a mature theme. I would say like they're going for a more edgy teenager kind of a feel. They definitely have the best looking products on this entire list. Their aesthetics, they just look like they mean business, and they have visual flair without looking like they're just adding stuff to add stuff. Now, if you want to buy just the R5 by itself, and you already have pedals, you already have whatever, you're looking at $299. All these bases on this list are tiny, by the way. Some are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit less big, but they're all going to pretty much fit in the same space. Yeah, the R5 is well designed. You can look at it and just be like, you know what? They put some thought behind this. And it has a much more solid quick release system than Fanatec. Both in the way that the wheel connects, just a straight lockup, less play, tighter tolerances, and the way that the wheel communicates with the wheel base is a much more solid system. Now, the wheels from Motza are the best quality out of all the wheels on this entire list. The ES steering wheel for $129. It's a design that's just going to suit almost any play style. It's going to feel good no matter what you're doing. And you probably won't ever need another wheel as long as you're happy with the wheel not matching what's on your screen, which doesn't matter anyway, because if you're racing not in VR, you shouldn't have that wheel on screen anyway, because that's cringe. I'm looking directly at you. Whoever's in the comment section that does that, you know who you are. Admit it. Now, there are some valid reasons why someone would leave the wheel on screen. For instance, if they're a content creator, that's a valid reason. But if you're doing it out of laziness, if you're doing it because you think it looks cool for some reason, you're wrong, buddy. You're wrong. Now, the pedals, this is interesting territory because they're much more expensive than Fanatec, on their lowest point. but they also come with everything that should come with the Fanatec pedals to begin with. So you're looking at $159 to $198.90 in terms of the price range that I can recommend just starting out. The SRP pedals come standard with a 2-pedal set, and you're able to purchase a clutch pedal later on for $39.90. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it? These are similar to the CSL pedals. Yes, they are. But they look to be a little bit more premium, in my opinion. But given the increase in price, they should be, right? These also come with a hefty 75 kilogram load cell sensor that's advertised instead of hidden on the brake pedal, and 16-bit resolution Hall effect sensors on the throttle and the clutch, if you buy that. You could play your favorite Super Mario game on this pedal. You could play Sonic the Hedgehog on this pedal. That's how high the resolution is. Okay, now we're getting on to our final challenger. I believe this company is doing great things for the industry. And if you're happy with Fanatec pricing, especially on the CSL DD, if you're happy with Moza's pricing, you can thank Camus for that, because they are pushing the industry prices down, baby. Down. The C5 bundle for $299 is the best bang for the buck, 100%. It comes with a 2-pedal Hall effect sensor pedal set. Now, unfortunately, you cannot add a clutch pedal later on. It's just the 2 pedals. Another weird thing is you cannot buy these pedals independently, from what I know. You can only buy them in this bundle. As far as I know, I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. It also comes with a table clamp system, so you don't need to buy that extra. The wheelbase that it comes with is a fully integrated system. You cannot change the wheel, unfortunately. Now, they are releasing a round wheel version without the flat bottom. For now, what's available is the flat bottom version. And if that doesn't bother you, yes, you can do drifting with it. If that doesn't bother you, yes, you can do rally, you can do F1, whatever. You can do it. It has integrated paddle shifters as well. They are tiny, but again, this is intended to be a travel/starter wheelbase. This wheelbase is 5 Newton meters, holding continuous, and 7 Newton meters peak. So it's almost as powerful to the CSL DD with the 8 Newton meter laptop power supply. Now, if you do want to buy the wheelbase by itself, it is $250. That does not include the table clamp. The table clamp is extra, $30. If you don't mind the size of the wheel rim, if you don't mind the shape of the wheel rim, this will do you wonders. It feels amazing. The housing is all aluminum and carbon fiber. Moving on to the next wheelbase is the LP8. It's the smallest form factor of all the standalone wheelbases on this list, not including the C5, because the C5 is like an integrated wheel and wheelbase unit. But it does have the highest price to performance ratio, not including the C5 again, simply for the fact that it comes with a 70 millimeter standard mounting plate. So that means you can mount wheels directly to it if you don't want to buy any wheel with buttons or whatever, and you want to just mount a wheel straight to the wheelbase, you can do that. You don't need to buy an adapter. Now, that does not mean you can't use a quick release, because you can, but you don't have to. And if you want to buy a $20 quick release and just slap it on there just to have one, you can do that later and still be under $400. Actually, that would put you around the $270 mark, because I've seen these things as low as $250. I've seen some confirmed purchases for $262 as well. So depending on where you get them, the price varies. Unfortunately, these are hard to find. That's the biggest problem right now with the LP8. This might change in the future, but right now, these are only available from distributors. These are not available from the Camus website. I don't know why exactly, but they have the reasons, and this might change in the future. So make sure and check the Camus website. Don't just assume that this information still stands true. As a matter of fact, all this information is subject to change because prices change, product availability changes. Yes. But I'm just saying, at the time of this video, they are hard to find. But if you do find a source, you're looking at around $250 to $260 from what I've seen. It's 8 Newton meters for like $100 less. And again, this power level, 8 to 10 Newton meters, in my opinion, is touching upon forever wheelbase territory. I don't think most people will want to upgrade once they get this. Now for wheels, for $199, you have a couple options. You have the GT1, which is a round wheel with obviously, paddle shifters, all the buttons and everything. But you also have a sort of F1 GT style, open wheel style rim that you can add. Now, a round wheel should always be your first choice when just starting out unless you only are interested in F1 or open wheel or GT style racing. That's the only time you should even consider not going with a round wheel first. That is a strong suggestion from me. Please do not fall for the cool shaped, oh, this is what race cars have. No, you're going to limit yourself if you do that. Do not do it. I'm just going to tell you, don't do it. But the option is there if you'd like to disobey me. You bad, bad boy or girl, I don't know. I can't see you. Now, the buttons are not going to feel as good. Moza and Fanatec buttons are going to feel better, but they are buttons. They work as buttons. You're going to press the button and it's going to do what you want it to do, whatever you mapped it to do. It's a button. If you're the type that wants that ultimate ASMR satisfaction, you're not going to find it here. They're just buttons. And the magnetic paddle shifters are not the best either. It's going to feel better than the Fanatec paddle shifters in this price range, but not the Moza paddle shifters in this price range. And the quick release that comes with the Camus wheels are super, super duper solid. Zero play in all the units I've tested. And the locking mechanism is a little bit different in that you can push this little button on top and lock open the quick release. So when you pull it off, it'll just stay unlocked until you press it back on, and then it automatically locks without you having to actually pull the quick release back open to unlock it. It'll just go pop, snap, crackle pop. Pedals. In my opinion, these are the best bang for your buck pedals you can get on the market. I have purchased a set for myself because I feel they are the best. I don't like paying a ton of money for gear. You all probably know that about me. I have a lot of money invested in my rig. I would almost always rather go for a cheaper item that provides a similar or decent experience rather than paying the top end for the best experience possible. Now, I have gone back on certain things like the BD8 shifter is kind of like the best of the best, and it's like $1,200. Yeah, I know. The LC100 pedals, as the name implies, has a 100 kilogram load cell, 2 Hall effect sensors. It's heavy duty steel construction all throughout. You're not going to bend or break these things. They are industrial. They are the most adjustable on this list. You can adjust the pedal faces. You can adjust how stiff everything feels. They are an entryway to a serious pedal set. There's something that you can grow with. If your tastes in racing change, you can adjust these to your new taste buds. You can adjust the travel. You can adjust the linearity of the brake pedal, right? Like you can adjust it with different springs, dampers, all that kind of stuff. It's also the only pedal offering here that comes standard with a hydraulic brake. If you need that oil, if you're a robot from Wizard of Oz, that oil is going to be there for you. All the thirsty boys and the thirsty girls, come get some of this hydraulic goodness. Drink up. Slurp, slurp. Don't drink hydraulic fluid. I'm not suggesting that. I don't want to, create this weird trend of drinking hydraulic fluid. It's not me. I'm not the one. So that's the last product that I wanted to cover. These are the best companies, in my opinion, on the market for beginners and for people that are upgrading from the world of gear and belt driven to direct drive technology. Any one of these products I can highly recommend, whether it be Fanatec, whether it be Moza, Camus, you're going to have a good time. Sim racing is amazing. I want to share this experience with as many people as I can, so I try to make videos to help inform people on choices they should make based on their budgets and choices that they could make depending on their preferences. So have a good day. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.